This company stands for freedom and independence. Times are difficult, but we want to show you how you can act independently and take your life in your own hands. Wherever you are, whatever you do, Freebay will show you the right way. Be a part of us and let your adventure begin with Freebay.
Hello everybody, and welcome to our next Freebay training session. I really want to welcome everybody around the world, and as we informed you already last week, today we have our focus on distribution. Today we want to talk about it, what you should do to reach your goals, what you should do to build big teams, what you should do when you start with Freebay to become successful. And we have today, again, amazing speakers on our Freebay training call. I'm really excited and looking forward for the training session with Snitsa Narcos, with Andrew Eaton and Michael Dalco. I'm pretty sure most of you know them, and yeah, be patient, they will talk soon, and be excited what they will share with us tonight. But before we start, I also want to show you some things, what everybody needs to do to reach the goals. I can tell you, if you look around the world in our industry, if you look around in the network marketing, affiliate marketing space, all of the successful leaders were at the same situation and did exactly the same things what we want to share with you today. I did it, all the other leaders did it, and it's really necessary that also you understand how important is it to start the right way, to do the right things to reach your own goals. So today, again, our focus is on the distribution side. Today, our focus is what you have to do to become a successful leader, to build big teams, and to reach your personal goals. So let us start with our training session today. Today I have the honor to draw a little bit for you and also to share something on my flip chart. So I'm honestly not a very good drawer or painter, but I'm pretty sure that everybody understands the message and understands what I'm trying to show you today on my flip chart. I want to start today with you and to talk with you about what you need to do when you start here with Freebay, when you start your business to reach your goals. Let me draw the picture for you first, and then I will explain it what it means. So this is a runway, okay? At the airport, doesn't matter where, a runway, and at the end of the runway there is, for example, a wood or some trees. I think everybody understands this means trees or a wood. And here we have our airplane. Yeah, it looks It looks like an airplane. Everybody understands that's an airplane. So the question is now, what must this airplane do when it takes off that he don't hit the trees? Give you questions, and did you understand the example? If the airplane stays on the runway and wants now to take off, what do you think happens if the airplane starts with 50% power? What do you think will happen? If the airplanes want to take off, starts with 50% powers, the airplane will hit the trees. So 50% doesn't work. What happens if the airplane or the pilot gives 70% power? Oh, he will probably take off a little bit higher, but we will have the same situation. He will hit the trees. What happened if the airplane starts with 90% power? Yes, he will take off a little bit more, but he will still hit the trees and will damage the airplane. So the pilot that the airplane takes off has to give 100% power. Now, when he gives 100% power, the airplane has no problem, don't hit the trees, takes off. And now it's very important that the pilot stays with the 100% power till he reaches the high where he wants to fly, the travel high for an airplane. When you reach your high, the airplane reach the travel high, then you can take back a little bit power, because the higher the airplane is, you know, not so much air pressure or whatever. If you are on your flight high, then he can take back a little bit of the powers, and it can be much more smoother. Can I say smoother? It's the right word. Yes, perfect. So what I want to tell you with this picture and with this example, when you start your business, when you start in the affiliate marketing, network marketing industry, you have to do exactly the same things like this airplane. When you start, you have to give 100% power to reach your goals. The flight high is your goal. So, and the most important thing here is that counts for people, they do it full time, but that also counts for people that just do it half time. Sorry to tell you that, but even if you start here in the business, here in the industry, half time, when you start your business, you have to start with 100%. You have to give 100% power to reach your goals. That's really important. And every pilot knows before he starts where he wants to fly. The pilots are not sitting in the airplane and just think about it when they start, okay, where we want to go today. No, they have a plan. They know exactly where they want to go. They know the direction. They know everything. They know how much gas they need for their travel. They need all the details, all the information that they reach their goals, that they reach their destination. Thank you. That they reach their destination. And the same works for you when you start in the business. You need also a plan. You have to understand how many gas or fuel is the right word for an airplane, how many fuel you need to reach the destination. You have to know, okay, where I have to fly, how much wind is on my way, is there bad weather on my way or whatever. You need a plan to reach your goals. It's exactly and I think the best example what you have to do when you start with your business. And let us talk about that, what it means when you start your business to have that plan, to give 100% power and to reach your goals. Because many people, when they start here in this business, they think probably you are at the same situation like I was when I started in the business. I started this business just half-time. I worked, when I started in the industry, in a hotel. And then somebody introduced me network marketing, affiliate marketing. And I could do it only half-time. So I needed a plan. What should I do with the time I have verfügbar, Entschuldigung, available, for the time I have available. And I have to make a really, really good plan to use the time and to do the right things, because my full-time job was 8 hours a day. So when I came back from my home and I started here in the network marketing business, I made a plan what I have to do. And I had some mentor on my side who showed me and taught me exactly what I have to do to have the 100%, to reach my flight height, to reach my destination, and to become successful in the industry. And I will give you now some examples what's really necessary, and it's an advice from my side, what you should do to reach your personal goal, what you should do to have the 100%. First, you have to understand network marketing, affiliate marketing is a business from people to people. You have to understand the success in our industry is to talk to people. If you don't want to talk to people, I tell you, then this is the wrong business, the wrong job for you. But if you like people, if you like to talk to people, and you're not afraid to talk to people, then it's the right business. So you have to understand, when you want to become successful in this business, you have to talk to people. What I did is I just make a contact list. I wrote down how many people I know. And also here it's very important that, you know, there are many people around the world that are doing this business like a hobby. This is not a hobby. This is a professional business. It doesn't mean that you have to talk and sell products only to your family and to your friends. No. I can tell you, in my whole career in this industry, I built teams probably 100,000 and more, and they are not all my friends and not all my family. But of course, I also introduced the products, the company, the business to my friends and also to my family. Why? Because I was always convinced what I did, always convinced, and so I made marketing. Marketing means I introduced my business, my product, my company to other people's. And I wrote them down. All of them I know. I had a big list. When I started in this business, I had a list with 400 people. 400 people I know, for example, from school, at work, from sport, and whatever. I wrote them all down. And I get in contact with them and introduced my business. So how I did that? At this time, you know, internet, it was in year 2004. Internet was not so big and so powerful how it's today. Today, you have so many opportunities to go with people in contact. You can use messengers like WhatsApp or Messenger or Telegram or whatever, social media, Facebook, Instagram, and so on and so on. You have many possibilities to go in contact with people. And my mentor told me when I started the business, you have to make a plan, a 30-day plan, what you are doing in the 30 days, and also a 90-day plan. 90 days. What you are doing in your first 30 days and what you're doing in the first 90 days. Let us start with the first 30 days. He told me the first 30 days, here it's necessary to get in contact with people. So on my first 30 days, I did the following. I get in contact with 20 people. In contact with people. It doesn't mean I have to talk to them. It doesn't mean I have to introduce the business, the product, or whatever. No. Start to get in contact with 20 people a day. And here also you have many opportunities to get in contact with 20 people. You can do it directly, you can talk to them. You can talk to them at your business. You can talk to them private when you meet them at sport. You can talk to them, I don't know, if you meet them at the street. You can talk to them on a birthday party. You can talk to them. There are many, many, many opportunities. I think everybody understands the point. And then, from these 20 contacts you make every day, or get in contact with them every day, yes, you start to talk to 5 to 10 people every day. And also here there are many opportunities. Now today, with everything what we have and the opportunities we have in front of us, you can send a link, watch a video, you can do it on Facebook, you can do it on WhatsApp, on Telegram, send to 5 to 10 people every day a link that shows the business. Just tease them. Just make them neugierig, Entschuldigung, curious. Make them curious about your business, about the video or whatever. And tell them, listen, look at the video, and if you like what you see on the video, we will talk after that. Or invite them to a business presentation. Invite them to a webinar. So many different opportunities. And the next thing what he told me is, make a goal for the first 30 days. What's my goal for the first 30 days? He told me 20 registered people, 20 sign-ups in the first 30 days. If you follow this advice, if you do that in the first 30 days, you do exactly what I showed you here with the pictures. You reached your 100%. You will not hit any trees on the way to your success. Your airplane will take off. And that's what you have to do in your first 30 days. Let us have a look how this affects now your business, how this affects now your structure. So give you an example, that's me. And I did that plan, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are now all my direct sign-ups. I have 20 people I introduced in my business. And when you look what that means on Freebay side, some of them probably just registered. They wanted to see, okay, what's it all about? But probably some of them just registered and are not interested. So these 5 just registered and are not interested. It's possible. Another 5, for example, just are interested in the academy or the robots or whatever, but more as a customer and as a client and not as a business builder. It's also possible. So these 5 are just customers. The other 5 they started a business and wanted, let me say it like that, wanted to start a business but never really start. It's also possible, right? And then you have the other 5, these ones. They started the business. This person, for example, had the same goal but didn't make it. But he signed up 4 people. This person, for example, just signed up 2 people. This person, for example, signed up 4 people, this one 10, and here you have that, I will call it now the ACE. I will give you an example why I will call it the ACE, okay, from a poker card set. He did the same thing like you did and reached the goal with 20 sign-ups, 20 registration. For example, how you see it here. You're with me? It's possible. Okay, let us see what that means. And here I want to give you an example. We take a poker card set, okay? That's my poker card set. How many aces, or let us start like this. How many cards are in a poker card set? 52 cards are in a poker card set. How many aces are in one poker card set? 4. We have 4 different colors. 4 different aces are in your card set. So what's the best case? How many cards you have to open to get the first ace? That can be already the first card. So when you open the first card of the card set, it can be already an ace. This one, this is my ace. That can be the Nitzas, the Andrew Eatons, the Michael Dalcoe in this world. They are hungry. They want to reach their goals. But what can be the worst case? How many cards you have to open to get your first ace? 49 cards in worst case you have to open to get your first ace. And that's the difficulty. That's the difficulty for the most people. They can't wait. They don't wait. They don't have a plan to open 49 cards till you have your first ace. But what does it mean, what I show you? If you open 52 cards, what you have for sure? 4 aces. Again, if you open 52 cards, what you have for sure? 4 aces. It's now up to you. If you, Geduld, 1 second. Patience. If you have the patience to wait and to follow the plan and be focused, because you know you have to open 52 cards to get the 4 aces, because in worst case, that means for you, you have to open 49 cards for the first ace. But it means also the last 4 cards are for sure 4 aces. Or you have luck, can be also possible, that the first 4 cards you open are already aces. Congratulations. But that's not the average. The average is here, that every 13th card is an ace. So that means you have to open an average 13 cards to have 1 ace. And that means for you, you need a plan. That means for you, in the first 30 days, you need that plan. You have to get in contact with 20 people. And don't do it alone. Do it in your team. In the first 30 days, talk. And it's also very good advice, and I think it's very necessary. In the first 30 days, talk to your sponsor every day. And if it's just for 5 minutes, ask him what you should do, how you can be better to reach your goals. Ask him, okay, I talked already with the first 5-10 people. Tell him exactly what you did, how you talked to them, and listen to him. He gives you advices that you will be better and better and better. And also, what we start on our 1st of October, when you have access to our academy, work with the workbooks, because you will find all these things in our academy, what you have to do when you start your business. You have to have a plan, a 30-day plan and a 90-day plan. My advice in the first 30 days is get in contact with 20 people every day. Talk to 5 to 10 people, or share links, or send videos, or invite them to a webinar, to a meeting, or to a one-on-one meeting and conversation. And your goal should be in the first 20 days that you sign up, that you register 20 people. 20 people, it's necessary because you have to understand there's always an average. You have to understand from the first 20 people you sign up, probably there's just one ace. One ace. Make sure, that's just an example. There's no rule around the world that every certain people is an ace, is a Nizza, is a Michael Dalcour, is a Andrew Eaton. But when you follow that system, you will find them, you will get them. And you also have to understand that not everybody who starts in the business is willing to do the right things. Not everybody who starts the business have the same goals like you. And you have to understand that and let them do their own things. So if I understand these 5 are not interested, then it's fine. You don't have to convince everybody. Don't waste your time on people, they have different goals. It's nothing wrong with that. Let them do what they want. You have just one goal, to find the aces and work with the aces. Your goal is to be concentrated on these 5 people. They want to reach their goals. They want to become successful in this business. They are convinced with the product, with the company, whatever. But your focus should be on these 5 people. And these people, of course, they need attention, but they don't need that time how these people need. I hope you understand that, okay? So, there's an average. Every 13th card is an ace. Your goal is find the ace, find the aces in the 52 cards poker set and be focused on them, work with them, and then you will build big teams. Because just count that together, what happens if you now help them to do the same things? How big will your team grow already in the first 90 days? But to that point, I will come later when we talk about the 90-day plan. So let me just summarize it again, that everybody understand it. I will repeat it. Think about you are a pilot of an airplane. You want to take off. If you want to reach your high, you have to give 100% power. If you do it full time or if you just do it half time, 100% is necessary. Everything below 100% doesn't help you. 100%. That's why you need a plan. And these 100%, my advice, get in contact with 20 people, talk or share information's content with 5 to 10 people, invite them to a webinar, business presentation, one-to-one, whatever. And your goal is 20 sign-ups to register 20 people in the first 30 days. Because we know there's always an average of people. We want to find these 5 people and we want to find the aces. And here we will have our focus, help them, and you will see how fast your team grows when you follow that system. Okay, so let me now introduce our first speaker for today, because she will give you also advices, techniques that you can use to reach your goals. I'm so excited and I'm so happy to have Nizza today, Nizza Narcos here on the call. Let me just put the headset on that I can hear you. Hello Nizza, and welcome to another training session on Freebay. Hello Nizza.
Hello, Marcus. Thank you so much. Such a privilege to be here. Thank you.
I'm really looking forward what you will share now with us, and I don't want to talk too much. I had already a short session. So Nizza, I give over to you. Thanks for being on the call, and share, please, all the knowledge you have building big teams. Please, Nizza.
Excellent. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you so very much. That was so very important, that training, everybody. And I hope everybody took down notes. Of course, we'll be able to come back, watch these, recordings of these trainings. This is our 7th training, and in my opinion, the most important one, because this really now sets us into motion. It gives us the actual steps, the action plan to succeed. And I just want to say, and I know I'm speaking on behalf of everybody, all of the trainers on today's call, that we are here for you. We want this for you. We want to see you win. We want to see you separate yourself from the masses of people in terms of results, okay? And get the results that the top 2% of people get in this industry. And you have to understand, we're building a culture in this company. We're building a framework that includes these trainings, that includes the systems and, you know, the trainers and the people, that the events that are going to be before us. We're building a culture to be a company that can produce the highest number of the 2%ers, everybody. And for that, I'm privileged. I feel honored. And so let's begin. So glorious and grateful, gracious day, Freedom family around the world. Once again, my name is Nitsa Nakos. It's always a privilege to be here. I want to speak to you today. I just want to really support the message that Marcus is sharing today. And because it's really all the same. We may all say it in a different way, which is why it's important, you know, to be plugged in, to get to the events, because sometimes you're just going to maybe hear it, maybe a slightly different way, or expressed maybe in a slightly different way, and it'll click for you. And that's all we want. It doesn't matter who says it, that it clicks for you. What matters is that it clicks for you, because what you're going to hear throughout today and tonight is you're going to hear, you know, our stories and how it was an event. It was a moment in time where it clicked. And when it clicks, and you really can never go back again if you decide. So what I'm going to share, I know that I'm going to be speaking to potentially two kind of types of people, okay? One is a group of you are going to take a look at where we are right now. We're launching Freebay, and you're going to look at it as an event, right? I'm in a company and the company is launching, and, you know, I'm excited. I'm glad I'm here. And that's fine, you know, because there's no right or wrong. Okay. There's no better or worse. But I'll make my point in a moment. And then there's going to be another group of you that are going to look at this, okay, launch as a strategy, as your time, as the time that you took the information, that you took the strategy, and you changed your life. Yeah. And once again, there's no right or wrong. There's no better or worse. There is no, you know, if you're part of this group, you're better than the other group, because we need the whole. But I will tell you this, if you are ready to do it now, if you're ready to change your life now, if you're ready to be a part of those 2%, a part of those who earn full-time income, six-figure incomes that go on to become seven-figure income earners. If you want to be those ones that have the prestige, that have the names, that have it all, then this is your time. This is your time, because I've learned three things, okay? What I'm going to share with you right now, what Marcus is sharing, what all of the speakers are going to be speaking to you guys about here. I've been in this industry for 25 years on a full-time basis, everyone. And what we're talking about here today, I've done it 4 times. 4 times. 4 times that I can count. 3 times was with a new company, or a new launch, I should say, within a company. And 1 time I relaunched because I wanted to get to next level. I wanted to actually win a big incentive that was out. And I will say this, the 4 times that I did this, exactly this, and I mean to follow through, I've started it, I can't count how many times, okay? I may have started this plan maybe 50 times, maybe 100 times over the past 25 years. So it's okay to start and start again and start again. That's natural, okay? I've started maybe 100 times this plan, but I have followed through 4 times. And as a result, of that, I can look back to exactly those moments in time and say that because of following through with this, with what Marcus is teaching you, what the speakers are here to teach you today, that I am where I am today, that I have averaged over 25 years, over $500,000 in earnings per year, over 25 years. And I'm not saying this to impress you. I'm a full-time professional in this industry. I take pride in what we do because this for me is the best way. So I just wanted to share that with you. And hopefully for those of you that know this is your time, that you're prepared to make it your time, that by the end of this training, by the time we're all done here today, that you'll be crystal clear in what you have to do. Because the three things I learned, number one, you have to be clear on your goals. With clarity comes purpose. Number two, you need to have an action plan. So, we can't just wish ourselves there and, try it this way and maybe I'll try it that way and try it that way. This is a business that has timeless principles to it. Just like if we were to start a franchise, a Subway franchise comes to mind, there's a certain way, right? There's a certain way to inventory. There's a certain way to prepare the food. There's a certain way to merchandise the store. There's a certain way that the store is laid out. There is a way. The same thing with this business. There is a way to do this business. And the quicker we all can adopt to that, for me, it took me 5 years, 5 years of being in the jungle, 5 years of swinging off different vines. Let me try this and let me try that. Oh, I heard it this way today. Maybe this sounds good. Oh, I'll try this over here because that seems to be more, in line. And at the end of the day, I wasn't really following what the most successful people were doing. I was just kind of following what I thought I wanted to do, okay? But when I let go of that and I actually started to learn from the people who had the most success, my life turned around, my business turned around, my income has completely turned around. So for that, I certainly hope by the end of this that you guys are gonna be clear. So I'm just gonna go forward now and share my screen. And hopefully you guys will be able to see this. All right. Am I sharing? Actually, I'm not sharing. Let me try it again. There we go. All right. So we're going to talk about the power of a launch. Okay. And, again, this for me, the professionals in this company right now, the people that you're going to hear from today, this is not just an event. This is a strategy. This is a time. This is why you see the Michael Delcos, the Andrew Eatons, and all the great leaders around the space, the Tony DeGouveas, the Brian Cromleys. This is why you see these individuals working harder now than we did, maybe when we, started a business 7 years, 10 years, 25 years ago. We work harder now because we know what the fruit of our labor, the labor that we put in now, we know because we've experienced it, how powerful a launch is. And I said something to you earlier, and my goal, one of my goals with Freebay is that we produce the highest number of full-time professionals in this industry, of the 2%ers in this industry. And I believe we have it all. We've got products, we've got comp plan, we've got the best of the best to make it happen right here. But we have something so unique, and that is that we're in a launch of a new company. So we have a fresh, clean slate, everybody. And new is always great. A clean slate, it's so important, mentally, emotionally, to know that you have a fresh start. And we got it, everybody. But here's the most important thing. It's not just a new company that's going to start out with an idea. Maybe it's going to work. Maybe it won't work. Maybe we'll attract, some great people. Maybe we won't. We already have that foundation. We have strong leadership. To have field leaders, executive leaders, let's start there. Executive leaders, CEOs and executive leaders in this company that have done what we are doing, this is a gift. There's not a lot of companies out there in our industry that can say that the people in charge have actually done what it is that we are doing. That is a strength. The field leadership, to have people that are full-time professionals who know how to build, who know the psychology, who understand the action plan, who understand how to deliver and how to lead. This is not something to take for granted. We have got, in my opinion, the best of the best leaders that have formed in this company. Some have been developed over the years together. Some have come over the last few years together. But most important is we're all here together now, and we're ready to make Freebay the #1 company in the world with the most successful affiliates on this planet. We have a strong foundation. We have experience and relationships in the gold space, of course, in the online business space, as we talked about. We have crypto specialists that are here. We have a strong foundation. We're not just trying things out, everybody. We're building our skyscraper on a base that is already proven. Now it's just brick by brick by brick by brick. And you know what the bricks are? The bricks are simply one person followed by the next person, followed by the next person, followed by the next person. We have 4 explosive industries. I was speaking to somebody earlier today, and we were talking about the second wave of Corona. And how I know here in Canada, they're already talking about second wave and how we're going to go down into a second lockdown, and it's happening all over the world. And, you know, I at that moment, once again, I just had this overwhelming feeling of gratitude that while the world is changing, because the world will never be the same again. We know that everything has changed. And while the world is evolving, it's evolving for the better, everybody. But while it is evolving, there is tremendous opportunity. We're in the gold market, the multi-trillion-dollar market of gold, and we know where gold is headed. Cryptocurrency. We have a $300 billion industry in crypto that's soon to be trillions and trillions of dollars. Everywhere we look, governments are stepping in, big tech giants are stepping in, the elite of the elite are coming into the space. Guys, this is not just a, well, one day I hope, my cryptocurrency may, grow. Those who are in now and taking advantage of industries like this, that are positioned in industries like this, that are leveraging industries like this, you've got to understand that these are the people that have the best chance, right? We have the biggest opportunity for gain. And then you've got online education, which is not just a luxury. It is a necessity. It is the way of life. And again, a multi-billion-dollar industry. And then couple that with the online business industry, the home-based business industry. More than ever before, people are looking for a better way. They're taking matters in their own hands. They're looking for a way to make more income. They're looking for a way to supplement the income they have. They're looking for a way to replace the income that they've lost. They're scared of, what the future is going to hold for them in their job or their career or their business. And they're flocking to the internet to look for a better way. We're in front of all 4 of these markets with a strong foundation, strong leadership, ready and committed to help you win. So what does all that mean? In a launch, simple. Be first. Be first. We have first to market advantage. Something that, guys, we're never going to launch Freebay again. We're in Freebay now. We're launching now. We're not going to have another launch in Freebay. Now, that's not to say that you might not launch your business in Freebay, or other people may not launch their business in Freebay in the future, or maybe a relaunch of your business, which is, natural. We all will do it in the course of our career. But I'm talking about one shot at the beginning, all together with this thrust and power that we have behind us to get in front of these 4 markets. The other thing I want to share with you now is, when we look at a launch, the power of a launch, there are certain expectations, right? And Marcus is going to give you the action steps. I'm not here to give you the action steps. I just kind of want to support everything that he's saying with some truth. And, I really we're totally in tandem. We didn't know that we were both going to talk about this, but, the first thing is expectation. To be prepared, mindset. We're talking mind, emotions, body. We got to be mentally, physically, and emotionally prepared for what we're going to do. Because when we put that respect into what we're doing, we're going to get better results. If we just treat it like a hobby, like, oh, I'll do it today and I won't do it tomorrow. Oh, I got to go to this movie. I got to go hang out with my friends today. I'll catch up tomorrow. Okay. That is not being prepared to win, okay? To make this time the time that you set up your life to win with Freebay. So, first 30 days, like Marcus said, is about all out massive action, right? The next, but it's all part of a first 90-day plan. We got to start strong, and then we got to support, be right there behind to support others that are starting strong right behind us. Yeah. And that's the power of this 90-day plan. But the first 30 days, guys, taking that, plane off that runway, that can set you up for life. And if you think what I'm saying isn't true, ask all the successful people, ask the 6-figure, 7-figure income earners, if they can remember a time where they went all in, all out massive action, and they put 30 days concentrated, focused energy, focused attention with intention into their work and did the action steps. I promise you that they would say, yes, that was the time. That's what set me up. The other thing to note is we have timelines. Let's talk about those timelines. First of all, 10/01 is the official launch, which means we're now in pre-launch. What is pre-launch? Pre-launch is a time for the company to get everything together. Okay, so the company, you're seeing more and more come together. You're seeing products start to come in our back office. You're seeing trainings starting to be populated. You're seeing other, tools and marketing coming together. So by 10/01, these things will be in place. But to start strong, you don't want to wait for everything to be in place. People that have reached the top of any company, they will tell you, I did not wait. I didn't wait for anybody, and I didn't wait for anything. I was all in now, and I went for it. So 10/01 is important because that's our launch date. Now, how can you work with 10/01? I'm going to tell you what I'm doing right now, and what I'm teaching my team right now is we want to have people positioned, new people positioned by 10/01, because this is pre-launch. How many people do you know that would love to be first in Freebay, that would love to be part of the first wave of people that joined this company? If you tell enough people, I promise you, you'll find the ones that are hungry for that. When I started my last network 7 years ago, I reached out, I made 150 contacts in my first 30 days. Some days I talked to 10 people, some days I talked to 30 people, some days I talked to 5, but you know what? In over the course of my first month, I spoke to 150 people. I sponsored 20. And out of those 20, 5 rose to the top of the company. So the numbers that Marcus is sharing with you are absolutely true. But the point that I'm trying to make is all of those 5 people, you know what they had in common? When I said we're launching, and we were not launching a new company like we're launching Freebay, we were launching in a new company, in an already existing company. We were doing a team launch. But all 5 of those people, not all 20, but all 5, you know what they wanted? They wanted to be first. They wanted to be part of that first group of people, to get in, to be that, story, and to have the best advantage. So 10/01, Work with 1001. How many people will you, brand new people, have ready on the starting line by 1001? And then how many will your team have ready by 1001? The next 1010, our big launch event. Michael Delco is going to speak to you about events today, as is Marcus. So I'm not going to get deep into events, but I will say this, everybody. An event, it's not necessarily that the event changes your life. It's the decision that you make at the event. Every single successful person in this industry, full-timers, we leverage events. We leverage events. All you got to do is bring people to the event. That's probably one of the most important things. And there's only a few. And one of them is attend events and bring as many people with you. So 1010, how many people will you bring? How many team members will be there? And how many guests between you and your team will show up? Can you imagine if even one person, the light bulb went off in their head, they had their moment, they made their decision, they drew their line in the sand, and they said, enough is enough, I'm going for it. And it was that event that did it for them. 1010, work with that number, bring them, to the events. We want to promote the event, we want to bring team, but we also want to bring guests too. And then 1031. We're right now in our first run. Our pay plan, every Friday, we run week to week and we get paid on Friday in the dual team. And the dual team is a small part of our paycheck, everybody. It's like the icing on the cake, okay? But we run month to month to get paid in the unilevel and all the bonuses that come in the unilevel. So typically, it's a 30-day run. This is the only time we have 45 days, a 45-day month to hit a rank, to advance our business forward. 45 days where the clock keeps ticking. It doesn't stop at 0 and start over again. The 2%, the professionals, the 6- and 7-figure earners, and I keep going back to that, everybody, only to say that those who have experienced what most people want when they join a business like this is they appreciate and respect the power of having an elongated month, okay? So we still have, what's today, the 23rd? We have 7 days left this month. We have 31 days in the next month. That's 38 days, even if you're starting new today. Even if you're starting new today, you have 38 days, an extra 8 days to accumulate more volume to hit that first rank. So Marcus is telling you a lot today what you need to do. I've given you some important information here, but the question that you have to ask yourself is, what is it worth to you to put forward this energy, to go strong? Why should you do it? What's in it for me, you say? Well, I'm going to give you 5 things of what's in it for you. First of all is commissions, okay? Commissions. Now, most people, I know, unless you're, you maybe have another job or you're bringing in, income other ways, but most people really need more money right now. And we have, up to October 31st, that's going to determine our pay for November 5. So it's your commissions. That's what's in it for you. Build that paycheck, that first paycheck. Do you know that my first paycheck in my last network was over 5 figures, and I used that story to inspire many people. I used the story. I said, this is what's possible, guys, in a business like this. And that inspired many people to follow. So what is it worth? Number 1, your commission. Number 2, rank advance. Rank, our income here is based on rank. The higher the rank, the higher the commission. But do you know the beauty of what we do is it's all about people follow what you do. If you're conscious, if you're running for a rank and you hit a rank, your team is going to do the same. So having that story in your first, 40 days or 38 days, guys, of hitting a rank, Let me tell you, this is powerful. This is something that this story, you'll be able to tell for many weeks, many months, and that's going to be inspiring the people right behind you to do exactly the same thing as you. Number 3, what's it worth for you in the next 12 months? This time next year, where are you going to be? If you put together a few of these 90-day runs, okay, you string them together, one that follows the other one, that follows the other one, that follows the other one. I am going to be the first one to say that you can hit the top of this plan within a year. And you don't have to have any experience, as long as you're hungry, as long as you're willing to work, as long as you're coachable and willing to follow the plan, you can absolutely hit the top of this plan as a diamond in this company in 12 months if you're prepared to do these things that we're teaching you. So what's it worth to you in the next 12 months? What about a lifetime? Again, I go back and I say this 4 times in my career, 4 times in 25 years. I've started with this. I've kept to this plan. I've followed through with this plan. And it's generated over $7 million. I'll say it. And I'm not saying it to impress you guys. I'm saying it because I want you to win. I want you to understand, I know what it's like to be the one that shows up at every event, that supports, that's there, that maybe had a successful career prior to this, but you just can't seem to make a business like this work. I was that person. I owned 5 restaurants. I was employing 50 people, and I thought I knew it. And then I started a network marketing business, and I could not succeed. I couldn't get my check up. It was at 1,000, maybe some months 2,000, next month 200. I just wanted to have a consistent pay. I wanted to be 6 figures and above because that's what I was used to. And it took me 5 years to get there because of the reasons I shared with you earlier, until you're ready to let go, follow this plan, and do the things that it takes, guys. Anybody can do this. Anybody. There's nothing that separates you and me. So what is it worth for you? What about being a role model to your team? Your team is going to do what you do. Is it worth it to go strong? If you want to build a successful team, the answer is yes. What about prestige? Can you see yourself being here, doing these trainings where hundreds of thousands of people will be watching you, listening to you? Guys, this is not every single speaker today, and I know this because we've discussed this, this is not about us wanting to inflate ourselves. This is not about ego. We're here to serve. We want to see you win. And when you reach a certain level, you will have people tapping you on the shoulder all the time, wanting your time, wanting your expertise, waiting on every word that you say. And at that time, I can tell you, because to reach the top and stay at the top, you're not doing it for you. You're not doing it to fulfill any egotistical kind of, oh, I'm great and I'm the rock star and I'm like a rock star and I'm, it's all about me. You're doing it. You're pouring into others so that they can win. You recognize that this role is a role that you take very seriously with a tremendous amount of responsibility, and that you pray always for guidance. So that is what it's worth for you to make this big thrust. What's it going to take? Follow Marcus's advice. I'm not going to say any more because he's going to tell you. But in the end, it is all about AOMA, all out massive action. And not just all out massive action, but all out massive action with Sue. What is Sue? Sense of urgency. You have a sense of urgency to change your life. Do you have a sense of urgency to do it this time? When I did it for my first time, I was sick and tired of trying, for many times over again. And I drew my line in the sand, and it was at an event. And I went to an event and I was sitting way up in the bleachers. And it was, I don't know, my 20th or 30th event over the years. And I had tried. Every time I'd go to an event, I'd get pumped up, and then I'd go home and I'd try, and then I'd get, I'd face adversity, I'd face rejection. And all of a sudden I'd say, no, I can't do it anymore. But one event that I went to, and people were being paraded across the stage as the top earners in the company, six-figure earners in that company. And I said, this is it. And the tears were pouring down my face, because that was my time. I made the decision then that I would change my life, that I would never come back. I would come back to the next event as the one who gets paraded across the stage, as the one who is the six-figure earner. And ladies and gentlemen, that was 25 years ago, and I've never looked back. So in the beginning of my little slot here, I asked you, I know that we've got two groups of people, and not one is better than the other. Please understand that. It takes a whole community to win. But who I wanted to speak to today, those of you who are on this call now who know it's your time. It's your time. My question to you is, are you ready? Are you ready? Make the decision, commit, and go tell the world. Thank you so very much, Marcus, for this opportunity. Thank you so very much, once again, everybody, for giving me your time and attention. I hope that I've been able to deliver value to you today. And with that, I'm going to turn now the call back over to Marcus.
Hello, Nitsa. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, I think everybody understands now really how important is it to have a plan. And let me just continue on my flip chart, the next steps, okay? Thank you, Nitsa, for that amazing content, and we see us later. Thank you. Okay, everybody, so let me just go quickly back to that presentation. And I also want to make one thing clear. Oh, first, that's how you write it in English. I understand, but it's not so important. The important thing is, I want to give you easy examples, really easy example that everybody understands what I'm talking about, and everybody understands how important it is to have a plan, and also to create with you a plan with easy examples. So probably after the call, after the training call today, somebody asks you, what did you watch today? What was the content? And you say, oh, I saw that crazy German guy who still don't know how to write aces, and he just draws airplanes, and he draws some poker cards and whatever. No, that's not the message. That's not the message. There's more important inside that. I want to give you an example. This is really a professional business, and you really, really have to be focused, and you really, really have to have goals. Goals are so important. To reach goals, you must be also hungry. But what I want to tell you is, let give me another example. You start an apprenticeship as a cook. You start an apprenticeship as a bakery, or as a baker, or whatever. How long does normal apprenticeship takes? Probably 3 years. Here in Germany, if you want to learn or to become a cook, you have to make an apprenticeship for 3 years. If you watch a 2-hour video to become a cook, do you really believe after the 2 hours video you are able to copy all these things? You are able really to run your own restaurant or whatever? For sure not. Take that really serious. Take that as just a message that you really can duplicate with simple draws, with simple example, with an easy plan, and to become a successful business owner. Because that's what you have to do to start in your first 30 days. Just have a look at all the cookers, at all the bakers around the world, or the mechanics, or whatever. They have to make 3 years apprenticeship. You can count that together, where you will stay after 3 years. If you take this now serious, this easy example, take them serious, start with that, and have a look where you will be in 3 years if you have a plan, if you understand, if you want to run that business successful, you have to be on 100% from the first day. You have to understand that it's all about numbers. You have to understand, in average, when I recruit, for example, 20 people, I have my 1 to 5 leaders in my group already, and count that together. If they doing the same thing, build up a team. How many successful people you have in your downline already? They earn money, they can do it full time, and that's just a way to do marketing if you get in contact with other people. If you have your own business and you want to reach every day 20 people with information, just count together how much money you have to invest to make advertisement that you reach every day 20 people. If you follow a strategy, if you follow a system, if you have a plan, an easy plan that everybody can copy and doing exactly after a 2-hour training, do you understand how powerful that can be? If everybody follows the rules, follow the system, have a plan for the 30 days, for the first 30 days, and understand numbers, and in average what that means for you if you have 20 sign-ups the first month to teach that other people, not all 20, just a handful of them, and they continue the same. How much money you have to invest for advertisement, how much money you have to invest to reach many people out there? Zero. Zero. You just teach them to follow a plan, to follow a system. And for that, you need the right mindset. And I'm really looking forward now for our next speaker, because he will talk about mindset now. So let me see. Andrew Eaton, are you there? Can you hear me? Andrew?
I am indeed, Marcus.
Hey,
Can you hear
Andrew.
me?
Yes, great to have you on the call today. And yeah, I just talked about how important it is to have the right mindset to start the business, to have a plan, and you know that you reach the goals of your plan. You need the right mindset, because many people fails not because they don't want it. They fail because they don't have the right strategy, they don't have the right mindset. And yeah, we just all waiting about your details and your information. So thanks again, Andrew Eaton, that you are here on our training session today. I will pass over to you. Andrew, please.
Marcus, great. Thank you very much. And what a privilege to be on tonight, and what big boost to follow after hearing Nietzsche speak and yourself, Marcus. So I don't want to keep everyone too long, but I do think we got some important things to talk about here. And what I really wanted to talk to you about tonight, based on what we've been talking about in this whole company webinar tonight, is really, some of the real mindset, that shift in mindset that's needed to be a success with Freebay, actually with the network marketing, but more specifically, as we launch Freebay within Freebay. And so, I just want to maybe just go back and talk about a little bit about my mindset when I started my proper network marketing journey back in 2011, and things that I needed to do, and maybe sharing that story might be able to help some other people who might need that shift. And here's the thing: when I started in 2011, if you heard my story from last week or the week before when I spoke, I was a pretty broken person by the time I started. I had an IT business that I'd had for 8 years, 2000 to 2008, and that had gone under in 2008. I'd been married for a year, and it's not really great spending your first year broke with no money. We had our first child, we had our second child. 2011, we were still broke. We were overworked. My wife was working a full-time job in middle management and HR in a listed company here in South Africa. I was working as a sales manager for a small outdoor media company. We didn't have the hours. And then we found out my little girl was autistic. And I just knew things had to change. I knew that I had to make different decisions. But the person who was aching for the change was doing it out of desperation. And people, here's what I want to say. Desperation is sometimes a good thing, but it's not a very powerful place to build an empire from. And as much as I was desperate to change things, I knew, and I started to work out over the year that followed, that my desperation needed to change, and I needed to start being more inspired. So desperation was a good place for me to start, but had I stayed in that mindset of desperation, then I don't think I would have been able to achieve anything great in this industry, if that makes any sense. Now, there may be some people on this call who resonate with being in that desperate situation where you just know something's got to change and you're desperate for it. And I want to talk to you tonight. And I also want to talk to the people who are not desperate, but also give you guys an idea of what it takes and what we need to do. And so I knew in 2011 that I needed to change my mindset. And what I found over the next few years was that most of the successful people in this industry have a different mindset. And they had to reprogram, most of us have had to reprogram our stinking thinking. And without reprogramming the stinking thinking that we all come from, we all carry baggage, people. Everyone here on this call, I will guarantee you, carries baggage. Yes, even Marcus Brachko carries baggage. Even Nitsa Nikos carries baggage. Michael Delco. We all carry baggage. But we can choose whether we want to continue with stinking thinking, or we can choose whether we want to have a positive attitude and move forward. Because when we have a positive attitude, then we learn to lead ourselves. And when we lead ourselves, that's when we get to lead people. And when we lead people, that's when we build big teams. And when we build big teams, that's where financial freedom comes from. And so what I wanted to talk to you about tonight, very quickly, are 4 steps, just 4, maybe 5, but 4 steps to developing a positive mindset to make a success out of your network marketing career. And more specifically, for the sake of this call, to grow a successful Freebay business and launch a successful Freebay business. And number 1 would be an awareness. You need to have an awareness of what's keeping you back. What are your stumbling blocks? What are your bad habits? What's been stopping you from achieving greatness? Why are you feeling average? Why aren't you that 6-figure or 7-figure income earner that you aspire to? We need to create that. We need to have a very, very big awareness. You see, awareness is the first step to change. Because if you're not aware that something's wrong, then how can you change it? And so if you can work out tonight over the next couple of days, if you need to sit down and find a quiet place and work out in your mind what your stumbling blocks are. Is it procrastination? Is it that you keep self-sabotaging and that you'll start a task and never end it? What are your weaknesses? How aware are you of the things that are keeping you back from achieving everything that you need to achieve? And I want to encourage you to go and work those out. Awareness is massively important. And once you've got awareness, you need the number 2 thing. You need to understand what's the cause. What's the cause of your procrastination? You see, procrastination I keep bringing up first because that's a big one for me. And you see, looking back, I realized that I got myself into financial difficulty in my old business, and I was in the position where I was in 2011 because I kept procrastinating. So I became very aware of what was keeping me back. I became very aware of what my self-sabotage was. And most of the time it came down to procrastination. I was a big person of, I'll start it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Maybe some of you guys can relate to that. I'll start it tomorrow. And what I realized as I started to analyze the cause of my procrastination, I realized that my procrastination stemmed mostly from fear and doubt. Fear of failing again, and doubt that I could actually do it again, that I could actually make a success of network marketing because of my failure of my traditional business. And as long as I could avoid, listen to me carefully, as long as I could avoid having to face up to that reality, then I'd be okay. In my mind, I could just carry on. And so I kept putting things off. I kept putting things off, procrastinating until tomorrow, next week. And so I realized in this analyzing of it that things needed to change. So I was aware of my self-destructive behavior, of what was limiting me, what was keeping me back. And then I've got a solid understanding what the underlying cause of that behavior was. Awareness, understanding. The third thing that you need to do, and which I needed to do in creating a positive change to become successful in network marketing, is once I identified what the problems were, I needed to disassociate myself from a lot of negative stuff. And this is the toughest one. And I learned this from Eric Worre. The toughest thing that we all have, if you want to create the change, is disassociation. I had to disassociate myself from bad habits. I had to disassociate myself from the thinking that was keeping me back. And I sometimes had to disassociate myself, which is the toughest one, from the people that were keeping me back. Some of those people I really loved, but they weren't serving my mission to change my life for my children. And it was a very tough call. You see, some of us on this call are hanging around the wrong people who keep feeding them the wrong words. And by associating with those people, there are too many people, there are a lot of people in this call that are with too many people that are showing them wrong habits. You see, my problem was, and I'll say this unashamedly, my problem in that association was I loved being in the bars all weekend. And I was a lot of fun in those bars. But I was broke. And all my friends in those bars were not serving me. Nice people, but not who I needed to be hanging around. I'm not saying people that hang around in bars are bad people. Please don't think I'm saying that at all. But by me hanging around those kinds of people who did not have the ambition that I was starting to develop, if I was going to stick around there, I was going to end up where they were. And that was scary. I had to stop listening to close friends who told me things like network marketing is a scam. Now, I still love those friends. A lot of them champion me right now. But for a period of my journey, I had to make one of the hardest decisions of distancing my interactions with them for a period of the journey while I got my confidence up. And that's one of the hardest things most of us have to do in order to change our mindsets to go on that success journey. To remember what I said, you need to change your mindset first so that you can get to lead yourself first, so that you get the permission to lead others. You don't get to lead others before you lead yourself first, and you don't get to lead yourself until you change your mindset. And only when we lead others do we build teams. And only when we lead teams do we get the financial freedom that Nietzsche spoke about earlier, that Marcus is now telling you that is here, Freebay is your vehicle. And so disassociation from bad habits, bad thinking, and possibly the people that you're hanging around with will be one of the toughest things you need to do, but it's one of the most important things you need to do. Which brings me up to the fourth step. So remember, now I've got awareness of what the problems are. 2, you have an understanding of the underlying reasons that's causing you to have that behavior. And number 3, you start disassociating yourself with the influencing factors that cause the underlying reason for you to have that thing that's holding you back. And here's the most important one. It's not the hardest one, but it's the most important one. 4, I needed to, and therefore I'm telling you that you probably need to recondition your mind. You need to recondition your mind around forming new habits that serve you. I had to create brand new habits that would serve me. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about that. I needed to start feeding my mind with positive things. I love, some of my biggest mentors have said, Andrew, network marketing, very simply, is the best personal development course in the world, cleverly disguised as a business opportunity. When I understood that and realized that this was my personal development journey, and the better I got, the more money I could make. Doesn't come the other way around. You don't make the money and then go and try and get better. You need to be better to attract more. And so I needed to start feeding my mind with positive things. And that means I also to start, and it started with stopping with the stuff that weren't serving me. So I stopped hanging around with the people that were feeding me negative stuff. I stopped listening to the radio. Who over here drives around and listens to the radio station and then can't wait for the news, where they hear negative stuff? I don't know when last I've heard when last the news was positive. And so I used to drive in traffic all the time in Johannesburg, listening to the news, listening to the negative stuff. I used to be on a Sunday morning. This used to be my habit. Sunday morning, wake up, still in my pajamas, get in my car, drive around the corner, go and get the newspaper from the guy at the traffic light, come around and read the newspaper in bed, and feed my mind with the negative poison. I can proudly say I haven't read a newspaper in a decade. I might have picked up the odd one if it's lying there and read an article, but I haven't physically bought a newspaper in a decade. I don't read websites and news websites. A great mentor of mine once said to me, Andrew, if you feel that you need to know what's going on in the world, well, I'll tell you what, Andrew, if something drastic happens in the world, one of your friends who listens to the news or reads the newspaper is definitely going to phone you and tell you what's happening in the world. You don't have to be that person. And so I stopped reading the newspapers. I stopped listening to negative people, and I started feeding my mind with positive things. And how did I do that? Well, instead of putting the news on in my car and the radio on, I started putting CDs into that radio. And in sitting in traffic, man, I had Les Brown filling my mind with positive things. You see, the thing is you might think, but that's all rubbish. But no, it's not, because subconsciously, your subconscious mind, you're not even aware of it. Your subconscious mind is absorbing this. And so Les Brown was my travel buddy. Bob Proctor was my travel buddy. Eric Warrior was my travel buddy. Man, I knew them backwards. They had no idea how well I knew them. But I knew them. And what started to happen as I started to listen to all these people on DVDs and CDs and on podcasts and whenever I could, is subconsciously things started to change in my mind. I became a more positive person. I started going to events, which Michael's going to talk to you about. Events where I was associating with people who were positive instead of being in the bar where people were talking about how bad things were. And as I started to surround myself with people who lifted me up instead of hanging around with people who pulled me down, things started to change for me subconsciously and consciously all of a sudden. And you see what started to happen as I started to recondition my mind, which I'm suggesting, highly suggest we start doing as individuals and as a group as we launch this company. As I started to recondition my mind with the right mindset, what started to happen, listen to me. And as I started to immerse myself, which is sort of that fifth thing, immerse myself in personal development, what started to happen was the most unbelievable thing. I started to become more attractive inside to myself. And you see, when I became more attractive to myself, when I woke up in the morning more positive, more confident, guess what? I started to lead myself. I started to be the person with the potential that God gave me, which had been wasted up until that point. Not completely, but I wasn't reaching my potential. And as I started to lead myself, the most amazing thing started to happen. I naturally started to be able to lead others because I felt I deserved the ability to lead others. I led myself first, then I led others. And as I started to lead others, my team started to grow. And as my team started to grow over those from 2011 to 2016, I went from broke to earning six figures and multiple six figures in this beautiful profession that we have. But you see, it all started with having the awareness of what was keeping me back, having an understanding of the underlying cause of what that was. And for me, it might be different for you, but for me, it was procrastination. And the procrastination came from a place of fear and lack of confidence. And the way I was able to fix it was I disassociated myself with the external negative influences that were causing that belief system that was in me, and reprogramming my mind by feeding it with the stuff that was serving me. Now, here's what I do want to say. I immersed myself in it, and I'm going to highly encourage you to immerse yourself in it. Because it's the people who immerse themselves in this personal development journey that will pick up the biggest paychecks at the end of the day. I don't think there's a person still sitting on this call listening right now who doesn't want a big paycheck. Those people who don't want, guess what they've done? They've already jumped off. They left already. But you're here still. And you're here because I'm guessing you want a big paycheck. So immerse yourself in personal development. And here's what I will tell you this. I used to laugh at personal development. You see, I had the opportunity to attend many personal development events from in the noughties, in the 2000s. But I used to laugh. Why would I want to go there? And then I went to one or two during that time, and I used to sit there and I used to laugh. I look at all these guys, all happy and clapping. And these guys from stage are just rah guys. You're idiots. And then I realized one day, the difference between me and the people on stage is that the people on stage were making money and I was still broke. And maybe, just maybe, I needed to change the way I think. And so this is what I want to tell you. We have got a phenomenal vehicle. Guys, I said it last week when I spoke. We have the most phenomenal vehicle in Freebay. I think the model is awesome. I think the partnerships that they've formed to give us the products that and the solutions that we have to make a difference in our lives and others is one of the most powerful that I've ever seen. And I'm super excited about it. We've got a great vehicle. But it will be those people who embrace the fact that this is their personal development journey first and foremost that will collect the big paychecks. And so I want to encourage you as I leave tonight and hand back to Marcus. This weekend or this week, find a quiet place, sit down, become aware of the things that are keeping you back. Identify and understand the underlying causes of those. Disassociate yourself with the things that have made them, that have affected those, that have brought about those causes. And then reprogram, recondition your mind. You can do it. If you look at all times, I'm reading books. At all times, I am reading books. The road back. How does your library look? Who are you listening to in the car? Who are you hanging around with? When you do that, you can build a massive, massive Freebay business. But it starts now. So I hope you got value from this. Certainly my life has changed since I embraced that. I've gone from broke in 2011. It's not another broken rags to riches story, guys, but I just want to tell you that I will tell you that I am a product of personal development, creating the right mindset and getting rid of my stinking thinking. It's not brain surgery. It's not rocket science, guys. It's just a commitment to want to do that. Thank you so much for your time. Marcus, back to you. I don't know if I'm handing over straight back over to you, Marcus.
Yes, thank you, Andrew. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Another great session with you. And yeah, you are absolutely right. You know, all these things happen to me in a different way as well. And yeah, I just can confirm it. Yeah, change your mindset, be focused. Yeah, be around the right people. That's why I love to be always in South Africa and be around with you guys. Thank you so much. So I just give over to Michael Dalco. Michael Dalco, are you here in the call? Michael, can you hear and see me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can hear you.
Michael, also a pleasure to have you on the call. And I know you will speak now about events and how important are events. So let me just say one thing. You know that I made on an event my decision. I want to learn that profession. I want to become a successful network marketing marketer, affiliate marketer on an event. And you know, I tried to start many times. I'm honest. The 30-day program is nice, what I showed today, but I failed when I start. I think 5 times. I started minimum 5 times and again, and I always wanted to become successful. I always wanted to have the big paychecks like the people on the stage, but you know, I was never 100% committed, and I didn't make the decision. And this decision I made on one event, but I will say my story later. Now the people want to hear you. Thank you to have you on the call, Michael, and I give over to you.
Thank you, Marcus. And I've heard part of your story, and it is very inspiring. So I look forward to the time that you can share that with the family. It's been an awesome call today. I just want to harken back to something Andrew Eaton said. He said that it's personal development cleverly disguised as a networking business. That's mind-blowing. And Ms. Nitsanako teaching us about the launch. And she said that we have literally a 38-day launch window, when typically it's 30 days. When there's just kind of a cooling period, everybody's putting their teams together, kind of getting set, getting your shoes laced up and ready to run. And Ms. Nitsanako, I've never even thought that we have more than 30 days for this pre-launch period, the time when all the formulation is being put in place. We have the time to set our teams up, place our leaders, and get ready to run. That is outstanding. So I want to first thank our leaders, Nitsanako and Mr. Andre Eaton, for their excellent words today. And I want to kind of wrap this all up with the idea of events. And Mr. Marcus Bratchko was just talking. Marcus, you were getting fired up, and I was really ready to just sit back and let you finish that story. But I'll sort of piggyback from your story and talk about my experience with live events. You know, this industry is so extraordinary until when you really get it, when the light comes on, no one can turn that light off again. Literally, when Marcus Bratchko said he's stuck to this, he's addicted, he's hooked into networking as a profession. Literally, my mentor, I may call his name a couple of times, forgive me if I do, Mr. Ty Best, he said, when you love what you do, you'll never work another day in your life. And that's what happens to you in a networking business, because it's about people. It's all about connecting with people and sharing experiences and sharing success. And that's what networking is, but we get paid for it. Imagine that. We get paid to lock arms with people, run to our dreams, and we get paid and compensated very well for building relationships, and that's extraordinary. So I remember my very first journey into this industry was 1993. And I hope I don't start crying on this story because I feel the chills of the story just thinking about that meeting. And this is what's so awesome. A lot of people know me on Facebook and in the circles of network marketing. They've been to events with me and they say such nice things to me when they see me. But in 1993, I was working in a warehouse. The reason why I worked in a warehouse is because I was in a band and I needed to be off a lot. So I had to get menial jobs that would let me be off. I wasn't that important to the company. And so I was working in a warehouse loading trucks. And a young lady, her name is Andrea. Andrea, if you ever see this video, you and your husband, I love you and Wayne forever. And Andrea walked out in that warehouse and she said, Mike, I see something in you. She said, will you go to a meeting with me? And I was like, to a meeting? And she says, yeah, I want to invite you to this event. She says, dress as sharp as you can. People are making a lot of money and I want you to see what we're doing. She says, I see something in you. And wow, just her saying that, man, right now, I'm just feeling all kind of energy. I'm trying to grip myself and relax myself so I can tell y'all this amazing story. I put my little suit on, man. It was a Thursday night. She picked me up. She didn't even let me drive. She said she would pick me up. She picked me up and guys, I was ready to go. And I got in the car and I got to that meeting. And when we pulled up on the parking lot, everybody was early. Nice cars, they had washed their cars. You walked inside and you just smelled this pleasant aroma of different perfumes and colognes. And everybody was laughing and some nice little soft jazz playing in the background. And everybody was smiling and hugging and high-fiving. And man, they started moving close to the door and everybody was saying hello to you. It was so positive. And they started moving to the door and I could hear music beating behind the door. And I was excited and I didn't know why. I had no clue about what I was getting ready to hear. I didn't know what the information was about. I didn't know the name of the company. I didn't know anything. And then they opened the doors and people started running real fast to get to the front of the room to be near the speaker. And this sharp black guy walks out on the stage and you could see his shining alligator shoes and nice suit and cufflinks. And you could see he had his initials on his cuff, you know, embroidered on his cuff. And I was like, wow. And he started talking about something really weird. He was talking about the distance between the moon and the earth and how if you stacked $100 bills from the earth to the moon, you still wouldn't have $1 billion. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, what is he talking about? And then he got on a whiteboard, sort of like what Marcus was doing. And he put 0.5%, 0.5%, 0.5%, 1/4%, 1%. And I was like, I really don't understand this, but I'm doing this. I left that meeting. I signed up for a $500 box with some letters of authorization. It was just paper. And I signed up for those boxes of paper to go and get long distance customers because I saw a vision of a way that was better than the way I was on. I was punching the clock every day and making just enough to be broke. So I saw a way to get out of that. And ladies and gentlemen, from 1993 to 2013, I made little to no money. And I was happy about that little bit of to no money that I made. I joined company after company, like Ms. Nitsanako said. I remember this one company I joined, it cost $120 a month for a case of juice that tasted horrible. And if you left it in your garage, it would go rancid. You had to refrigerate it. And if you didn't sell 3 bottles, you didn't even make your money back. And I did that business. And I remember my biggest check was $300. And I had to pay $120 for the juice. So my net was $180 net income for the month. And I was so happy about that money because at least it paid my car insurance. And I made it on my own, free enterprise. As Mr. Ty Best taught me, free enterprise means free work. It means you got to be willing to build something and not even get paid until you build it. Because when you build it, it'll create this magical compound word that I didn't learn about until I got in the network marketing industry, residual income. Man, if you understood residual income, meaning I'm sitting here in my office right now, getting paid, talking to you, that I built something that pays me over and over and over again with or without my physical effort. That's what network marketing will do for you. And so I tapped into that residual income, but it was the live event that made that thing happen. And so that first event changed my life forever. I became psychologically unemployable after that event. I was getting fired from one job to the next. I found the mortgage industry and I just stayed in it. But this industry of network marketing, finally in 2013, that light bulb came on. I found a mentor, which was one thing that I wasn't willing to have through that whole journey. I wouldn't submit to learn from someone else. That's the gold nugget right there. If you don't learn anything else I talk about today, you've got to be willing to listen and submit to somebody else. I told Ms. Nitsa Nakos, I said, Nitsa, when you have your meetings, don't leave me out of your text blast. Text me. I need to learn what you know. I told Andrew Eaton, you got to come over and talk to our team. It's because people have different pieces of this divine puzzle, and you need to yield yourself and submit yourself to people who have been successful in this industry. And that's what I had committed myself to do. So I found my mentor, Mr. Ty Best and Miss Valerie Best. That was one thing I had never done. And the second thing, just as important, that I had never committed to, which was events. I wouldn't go to events. I went to that first event, and that event blew my mind. And it just escaped me that that event was what opened my eyes to this phenomenal, miraculous industry of networking. And yet I left that event and tried to build a business on my own. I tried to learn the comp plans. I tried to be the best at explaining the comp plan and reading all the material and understanding the product and being a product expert. But I didn't commit myself to locking arms with the other leaders and the other team members. I would never buy a ticket to an event. Why would I buy that ticket? They don't need my money. I'm keeping my money. I could buy some more of whatever product I'm marketing. I don't need to go to that event. That's just all about rah-rah, and they're trying to pump me up and get me excited anyway. They just want my ticket money. Little did I know that I needed to give them my ticket money. I needed to give them my ticket money. See, I thought I could just send a text message to somebody or put a post on social media and grow my business. And look, if you post on social media, you'll have some success. Somebody will join. Y'all had several leaders join from a post or a YouTube video that I've done. Or if I send a text message to a friend, they'll get excited. They might come onto this YouTube clip, then they might listen. But boy, when I move from just posting to texting, I have more success texting than posting. When I move from texting to making a phone call and letting them hear the sincerity and the intensity in my voice, I have more success from a phone call than I did from a text or a post. Or if I invite them to a Zoom room, an online event, you would think that we could get all the success we needed from online events, and you can. And it's very successful to invite them to an online event. An online or a Zoom or a FaceTime call with your phone is much more successful than a phone call, which is more successful than a text, which is better than a post. There's levels to this thing. But man, nothing explodes your team or fires you up and rekindles your belief like a live event. Ms. Nitsa Nakos talked about part of that. It's just getting in that room and seeing people walk across the stage that are literally humans, and you could reach out and touch those people. They're no better than you, and yet they're top achievers, top earners, walking across the stage, being celebrated in the midst of their friends, family, and business partners. And you get this wholesome jealousy about yourself, where it's not like you're racing them, but you're racing yourself. You know you can do better. It just pushes you to know you can do better than you're doing. And Ms. Nitsa Nakos says she made 120 calls in 30 days. I remember making 300 calls in 30 days. And I was digging into that phone list. And in 103 days, from meeting my mentor and making those 300 calls, I had replaced my full-time income. I was a mortgage banker with Wells Fargo. I know this works. I'm not a person with a theory. I'm a man with an experience. I used to be the guy sitting in the back of the room saying, this is ridiculous. They just trying to hype me up. Right? Keep on thinking that. And you'll struggle and struggle and struggle with your business potentially. But when you give yourself over to listen actively to that person standing on that stage, There's not a time when Andrew Eaton talks that I'm not all ears with my notepad. I already made some notes today. That's what this is all about. That live event is game changer for your organization. So literally, this business is about transferring belief. You can transfer a little belief with the post, a little more with the text, a little more with the phone call, because they can hear the tonality and the timbre in your voice. But man, when you get on a Zoom and you can see my eyes, and you can see water well up in my eyes when I think about that something I'm saying right now has the potential to help somebody, that fires me up. So that FaceTime, that eye-to-eye contact, the mirrors to the soul, where we're having a one-way dialogue right now because you can see me, but I can't see you. But I know that something I'm saying is impacting somebody. And if I can reach one person, one can put 1,000. It can launch 1,000, and two can launch 10,000. So if I'm reaching 2 of you guys, I'm reaching 10,000 of us, because that's the power of a networking business. It's a personal development program with a compensation plan attached to it. And the reason why you want to get people to live events is because live events create that transference of belief. Here's my last statement, and I'll turn it back over to Marcus Bratchko. More is caught than is taught. You can do trainings all day long. You can get people on the Zoom and y'all can go through the numbers and make them understand the compensation backwards and forwards. But until that energy impacts their lives, they'll never have the level of success that they want to have. That vision board, that dream board is easier to accomplish by accident when you get that energy attached to you than you ever did on purpose, just by learning the numbers and learning the products. More is caught than is taught. When I see Nisa Nakos in South Africa, man, it took my belief to an entirely new level. More is caught than is taught. When I saw Marcus Bratchko in Las Vegas, and he's talking on the stage, and I got to meet him and shake hands with him and give him a hug, more is caught than is taught. It took my business to a different level. You will earn more by accident than you ever did on purpose when you plug in and commit to events. I know you think maybe somebody's trying to hype you up into it. I felt the same way. I know exactly how you feel. I felt the exact same way. But when I submitted myself to a teacher, Mr. Ty Bass, and we start having our first event, that first live event, where I committed to events online and in person, my life changed in ways that is unimaginable. Today, I have not worked a job in over 6.5 years because of this industry and because of what I committed to. No one in my family has to work if they don't want to because of this amazing industry. And Freebay, of every business I've ever seen, free to join. Nothing is mandatory. Products that people want instead of stuff you have to buy to get paid. No one has to purchase anything. What an extraordinary opportunity. Freebay, that launching pad to freedom, your gateway to freedom. That's what Freebay offers you. So I'm honored to be a part of this in any way that I can be. If there's anything that I said today that pushes you to that next level, to commit to live events and events in general, then I've done my job today. You guys are great. And I'm going to steal a line from one of my business partners, Dr. Sergio Rozelle. Success is voluntary, and you deserve it. Mr. Marcus Bratchko, thank you for giving me a moment here, sir. Back to you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much. What a great story. Let me just share with you shortly my event when I made my decision and I started to be committed. I do it now in a very, very short version, okay? I was also before on many events, you know, and the 30 and 90-day plan I heard many times, and I also saw it on this event, the people just, you know, standing on the chairs or on the desk and dancing, and that's all, and overhyping things and whatever. So, and this specific event, I was there, and you know, I'm a sport car fan. And in the company I worked at this time, they had also a car program. So when you reach a position, you get also a car and whatever. So I went to that event, And then, the top earners comes on the stage. They have the recognition for them. And there was one, I was 24 at this time, the end of 24, close to 25. And it was just probably 12 months before or after I started. And then there was a 21-year-old guy. And I just tell you my thoughts. I know it's wrong thoughts, and please excuse me what I'm telling you right now, but I want to tell you the truth. I was sitting there, and this 21-year-old guy goes upstairs on the stage, and, he wore a suit, the arms too short, on the legs too short, tennis socks, I think. It just looks ugly. I thought, what's that for an idiot? It was my thinking. And then he reached the sports car. I can't remember what it was, Porsche or whatever. I know on his position how much he earns, between 20 and 40,000 euro a month. You can calculate it on the compensation plan. And then I realized, no, that's not the idiot. I'm the idiot, because I'm sitting here on the stage and he's staying I'm on the chair and he's staying on the stage. Why you are not on the stage and getting the car and earning that money? So that was for me this aha or wow moment, and I just thought, I have to change something. When he later, after the meeting, I went to the 21-year-old guy and asked him, what have you done to reach that position and to get this car now? You know what he told me? The 30-day program, the 90-day program. He said, you need a goal. I worked from event to event. Today, I have here on the event 400 people from my team. And I just said, oh God, okay, I understand what I have to do now. I have to make sure that I have always the most people on each event. So, and then I started to do that. So thank you for your story, to sharing with us your story. Michael, it's always a pleasure. And yeah, see us soon. Thank you, Michael, so much.
Marcus.
Okay, so let me just summarize that today. You need a plan. You need an easy plan that's duplicatable. You need a system. Work from event to event and start with the right mindset and understand how important are events. And we will continue with trainings on that. So I just go back to the flip chart that I can explain it here. This is just the beginning, but let us have a look on these three things. When you start your business, when you start with your first 30-day plan, and also with your first steps. Here I told you, get in contact with 20 people. So to become a successful networker or affiliate marketer, what you have to learn, what all the top income earners know today and are doing. They know how to make contact. They know how to get in contact with people, online and offline. And also, here to have the right mindset. Please understand me here right. I'm not talking about that this is just hocus pocus or whatever. Also, with the right thoughts, you bring the right people in your life. Doesn't mean that I think about someone and then he comes in my life. No, because of my right mindset. I see them. Many of them was in my life before, but I didn't realize them. I didn't see them. And much more important, they didn't realize me and didn't want to get in contact with me because I had the wrong mindset. So you have to learn how to get in contact with people with the right mindset. You have to learn how to share content, online and offline. How to convince people. You have to learn how to sell products, how to close a contract. You have to understand how important it is to share easy content with people, to duplicate. And all this you learn already in the first 30 days, or you're practicing in the first 30 days. And you become better and better and better as much more you do it, as much you're practicing these things with your team. And that's all about. So the basic of your business, you learn already in the first 30 days. What you have to understand is you need a plan. You need to be committed. You need a system, work from event to event, and it must be duplicatable. And start to have the right thoughts, the right mindsets. Learn as much as possible. We will continue the 90-day program on our next training on Thursday. We are doing a little change, okay? Because I think that's very important for all of us. On Thursday, I have a big surprise for everyone. On Thursday, I will introduce you our incentive program. The incentive program for your next 30 days. Probably with today, it's for the next 38 days, okay? Make sure you and your team are on our next call on Thursday. Here, I will go in more details about the 90-day plan. I will show you the incentive program. I will show you some new distribution tools you can use to duplicate, to share content. And yeah, just be ready for that and be on our next training call. And this is also a good advice. Don't watch our calls alone. Invite your team members, your affiliates, they live close around it. Watch it together. Make together the plans. Everything what you do in the team has more power than when you do it by yourself. And for today, I just hope and I wish that you understand all the topics point from today, that you can already start today to bring them in your life, to make a plan for yourself with the first 30 days. Get in contact with 20 people every day. Talk to 5 to 10 of the people every day. Invite them to webinars, to calls, to a one-to-one call, or when it's possible in your area, also to small events. And just I can't wait till we are able to have bigger events like in past. I want to see you there again. And I hope for all of you guys that you get also this wow, aha moment like all of us had of one of these events, to be committed, to make your decision, to make a plan, no excuses anymore, and just go for it. So again, thanks for joining us tonight. I wish you all the best. Have a good day, have a good evening, have a good night wherever you are. And we see us on Thursday here again on YouTube channel with the 90-day plan, an amazing incentive. And we will also talk a little bit more about events, and I show you some great tools you can use to grow your business. Thanks. You're Markus Bratschko. See you soon.